6:16, not quite midnight yet. The witching hour is almost here. Holy cow, is this thing really broken? No, don't worry, we don't need anything. I don't need this thing to be loading or anything like this. But look, guys, um, here I am, Johnny I Spy. I'm on the return, and holy cow, the Father is absolutely talking to me. And I wish I was absolutely exaggerating, but I'm not. I've done the chart through this page right here. I'll put these into the description of the video. But according to this page right here, uh, Hurricane Beryl, not Beryl. My grandmother's name is Beryl, okay? And this is the trick of the whole thing. I wouldn't be here in this world without my grandmother, okay? My grandmother Beryl, Evelyn Beryl Stewart. Holy cow, is this going to be a spiritual podcast for you tonight about a hurricane? And Grandma was born when? Holy cow, you're never going to believe this. Grandma was absolutely born at about 12 degrees Aries, right? And here we are. This is a horoscope. This is a Western Placidica house, unequal houses horoscope of the landfall of Beryl. And you can see, down there near the equator, it's almost equal houses anyway. But look at this, folks. I want you to look at this right now. You're going to love this, okay? The North Node, the dragon's head, is conjunct my grandmother's sun. It's a true thing. I'm not kidding you. My grandmother's sun is conjunct my Saturn, my natal Saturn, okay? In my 11th house of groups. I'm not kidding about any of that. You could go through my playlist and you can see how, basically, if you watch the episode of how to align yourself to the Star of Bethlehem 2040, you'll see how much my grandmother's chart and my chart are aligned to each other. And here I am. I'm a Gemini ascendant. I'm born at 1 degree 55 minutes Gemini on the ascendant, using the Placidica house system. And here we are. What is that Gemini degree speaking to us? Like when we line Gemini, the Gemini ascendant of me up with this chart, the Gemini ascendant would be right here in the 9th house. And being a Gemini, my partnership house would be, that of Sagittarius. And here we have Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, at home in the 9th house, but in his very far from home in the sign of Gemini, right? This is what Jupiter's doing. He's very far from home in the sign of Gemini, but this is his partnership house. He burns okay here, but he burns better in a fire sign, right? Now look at this, because when we look at this chart, we have to look at this. The ascendant is 26 degrees. Look at where Juno was sitting here. She's in the 12th house of Neptune, right? And she is 17 degrees 56 minutes. This would be conjunct my natal Pluto, at like 18 degrees Virgo, right? But here we have a Virgo and Pisces mix. But also we have to remember that the sun is in Cancer at 10 degrees. And when the sun is in Cancer, the earth is in Capricorn, okay? When we think about this, we have to actually remember this. And look how Vesta is opposed Pluto, okay? But look at how the dragon's head is in the house of Mars with a Mercury overlap at 26 degrees, right? Now, we have to look at this. We have to look at this 26 degrees Virgo. This is the path of the chart. And what is the path of the chart? Getting divine attention, right? What is the likelihood of a storm ruled by Jupiter being tagged with my grandmother's name? Beryl. And Beryl likes to barrel through, Grenada. It's no laughing matter, folks. I mean, if the Father is truly here, what is the likelihood, as an astrologer, what is the likelihood of the descendant of the chart at 26 degrees 13 minutes when my natal moon in Pisces is 26 degrees 49 minutes? I keep on asking myself, why do I study this stuff, right? But every time I see charts that link up to my chart and link up to my grandmother's chart, because I wouldn't be here without my grandmother, right? Look at this, folks. Look at the 10th house and 4th house axis. We have Ceres in the 4th house in retrograde. We have Pallas Athena in Scorpio retrograde. We have the dragon's tail moving through the house of Mars. On landfall, right? The dragon's tail is being like Godzilla, knocking off all these houses, in this house of Mars, which is the god of war, one of the gods of war. And then we have Vesta sitting opposing Pluto, who is the god of war, right? And the god of death, right? In the 5th house of the sun. And when we think about, let me slow down here, but when we think about the sun in Cancer, okay? This solstice house, the 1st house of summer, and here we have the sun moving through his 12th house. I mean, the sun is not always at home in the 12th house, but we have to think about him, the sun, ruling the big cats of Leo, right? And here we are, Vista is sitting in a very powerful spot in Leo, and we have Jupiter, but most importantly, the sun. What is the symbol of the sun? Because the eye of the storm, we could look at the sun in the house of devastation ruled by Saturn with Venus there, right? The home front is Cancer, right? According to astrology, the home front is Cancer, and the sun, the eye wall, the hurricane is the sun, right? Because the eye, look how the sun is very much like the same symbol as a hurricane, right? It's very simple to see. Then we have Pisces, Neptune in the crossover period, just over the horizon. Neptune, the god of the oceans, the god, home in Pisces, but he's in the crossover 29 degrees. He's 5 minutes from Aries, guys. He wants to be Aries. In the house of the head, right? It's crazy, right? It's absolutely insane how the Father is absolutely talking to me this way. I mean, we have a very important summer coming up here. It's only days away until Mars catches up with Uranus. Mars is on his way to catch up to Uranus. And look where everything is. Look how the moon is conjunct Mars and, closing in on Uranus. Where is he going to be, right? This is this is it, because we're going to have several more charts to follow and several more stories to follow with this thing, because we cannot believe this. And when you look at through this, when we look at the landfall, here we are in the Grenadines, right? Here is Grenada right here. Look at the island, okay? Now look at this. It's a category 5, right? This is Mount St. Catherine, right? Mount St. Catherine. Now you're going to get blown away with this, but I was absolutely born at 1:41 a.m. July 26, like the horizon line, the axis of the chart is to my moon, July 26, right? When I was born at 1:41 a.m., July 26, the moon was there at 26 degrees Pisces, okay? And look at this. I was born St. Catherine's, right? And this is the mount, right? This is the mount, right? Mount St. Catherine in Grenada. It's unbelievable, It's absolutely unbelievable that I have found a hurricane named after my grandmother, Grandma Beryl, Grandma Evelyn Beryl Stewart. And here we are. The sun is at 10 degrees for the landfall of this chart. The sun is at 10 degrees, 15 minutes, Cancer. It is conjunct my natal Mercury. We have a wild year to look at, folks. The Father is with us, right? The Father is absolutely with me right here. I mean, there is no possible way in the universe that we get a chart with a descendant of 26 degrees Pisces, conjunct my natal moon, my mortality, my brain, how my brain functions. Vista is at 5 degrees Leo in 6 minutes. My natal sun is at 2 degrees Leo, 34 minutes. Okay, but look how this works. Jupiter is actually squared my natal Venus, which is at like 11 degrees Virgo, right? But here we are with the dragon's head sitting in the first house at 11 degrees. Okay. But this is the big one for you, folks. This is the big one for you, all of you, on this one. When we look at how Saturn is sitting, Saturn and Juno are perfectly opposed to each other. And Saturn is in this house of crisis, right? Saturn is in this house of crisis. And in Saturn and Pisces, the walls are definitely crumbling down, right? The borders are being removed. 90% of the buildings were compromised. And we have these planets in a fixed sign. The moon is conjunct Mars. Mars is closing in with Uranus, the planet of sudden and unpredictable destruction. I mean, a week ago they didn't know this was going to happen. And then here we are. The moon is conjunct Mars, which is the trigger of the event, right? Mars is the collision of the storm into the Mars is the collision of the storm into the land, right? And the land is Saturn, right? Here we go. Look at this. Grenada, is over here, and the storm is over here, right? Look, guys, I really appreciate your patience. I hope you got something out of the video here. As I said, 26 degrees Virgo, getting divine attention, right? I mean, you look through here. The key word is rapture, all right? It's amazing how the Sabian symbol really worked out for this one. It's good to check it out, especially when you get something that really, pokes you in the eye like this chart, right? The dragon's tail is absolutely poking us in the eye here. It's unreal. It's really unreal. And remember, Jupiter is this planet of higher thinking, and Jupiter is also the storm. He's a thunderbolt, and he's at home in the 9th house, but it's this Mercury thing, the wind of change. Okay? I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and this is the chart casting system that I was referred to learn by my instructor, who was the gentleman that made it a law to study corporate astrology in Canada. So whenever I send them charts, he gives me honors for my observations, and so whether it's Vedic or Western astrology, this is the astrology that I've been shown. I'm living in the Western world, right? And it seems to work. Thank you very much, and I appreciate your time. Godspeed to you, always.